I mean, we might as well just bring it up.
Let me put it to you this way, folks. You're working with the FIB. Few corrupt agents, just the worst thing you can do ever. But and you're Trevor, by the way. Trevor, the most twisted fuck of all in the game. I'm just gonna say that.
A redneck among... I swear he was inbred.
Dropped him off at the airport and... we broke the fucker's leg. So...
in full au natural, a woman getting porked in the ass, though she's an idiot if she's doing this out in a public area. Derp, 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 derp.
Okay, AV here with the AV&T series, TJ Green.
What up?
Okay, so today, guys, we have a GTA 5 topic.
Grand Theft Auto 5.
Before that, we have a disclaimer for you. And,
ladies and gentlemen, Grand Theft Auto, the entire series, just to kind of sum it up, is one of the most brutal series of video games in the market today. These games are based off of reality, and these are things that, by all stretches, are completely illegal to do in real life.
Mm-hmm.
So... we are going to spend a few minutes with our personal opinion and our plea to consumers about smart decisions in the purchasing or not purchasing of this game. We here, both of us at the AV&T series, although this does contain very graphic descriptions and the game itself is entirely filthy would be a very light term to put it. We do not condone any of the things that will be described contained within the video game.
Indeed.
We know the difference between fantasy and reality and what we can and cannot do legally in real life situations.
Now, this is ever so more important because we realize that not only everyday average Joes like ourselves play the game, but kids apparently play the game.
Yes.
Now, that's perfectly fine, as long as, the parents of the child knows whether the kid can handle it or not. But it's also very important that what the kid's viewing is more not taken to heart and not, acted upon in real life, because let's just say kids sometimes do this thing where if they see it on a movie or a TV show, they'll do it.
Yeah, if they see it, they feel they can do it.
It's kind of like monkey see, monkey do, I think is the word.
That's exactly
say.
Right, yeah.
So, in all seriousness, the disclaimer here is just to kind of, don't do what the game does. Just play to have fun.
For my opinion, at least in regards to this, and then, Mr. Varn can state his. Truthfully, in my opinion, I don't believe young children should ever play this game. I believe you should at least be of teenage age, and even then, you should have at least a talk about, okay, these games may exist, but if you play them, you have to realize you cannot do these things. You cannot do, and should not, and guaranteed, nearly 100% of almost everything you see in the Grand Theft Auto series is morally wrong, ethically wrong, nasty, and should never ever be touched by little kids. Like Al, just said, little kids tend to absorb everything they see, whether it's in movies or in video games, and without proper discussion and really without a proper understanding of right and wrong and things like that, especially with something as very potent as the Grand Theft Auto series of games. I truthfully think it should be teenagers and above that should only have access to this game. Little kids should not be playing any game in the Grand Theft Auto series. And, Granted, folks may or may not agree with me, and that's fine. But after my personal experience playing this game, which wow, talk about filthy earlier. Nuclear freaking warfare, proving just how filthy Grand Theft Auto can inspire. But to end it up, little kids should not play these games, not at all. And I will say, it kind of, there are instances in this game that scared the crap completely out of me. Like, I could not believe how increasingly filthy and demented these games could get. And then I played this game. However, there are pros and cons to every game, and we'll get to that. Mr. Varney, your opinion?
Well, my opinion, honestly, is that the fact that kids are playing these games, and I suppose parents allow it and it's okay with them, but my opinion is that I tend to agree more with TJ on this one, is that you really need to be of teenage or above to play this. This game is pretty nasty, come to be exact, because we're going to get to this when we cover it, but there is a very interesting scene, that you yourself get to actually control what you do, and it is sick.
Yeah.
It surprised me when I played it, and I've played worse games before, like Manhunt. That's a pretty sick game too. That's a game meant to be sick. So, I think you really should be of teen age to do it, at least. Yeah, that's pretty much. Not only because the game mode, but the online mode. I'm gonna say this: people tend to be really nasty online, especially
nasty.
over voice chat.
Yeah.
I can't even describe how it can be sometimes, and I play it all the time online just to have fun. So, yeah.
And keep in mind, folks, this is already been slated to get a re-release onto the next generation Xbox One and PlayStation 4 systems. So right off the bat, we're warning you full on. This is a popular game, or they would not, make all the effort to re-release the game for the next generation of video gamers. The appeal of the Grand Theft Auto games, to sum it up in a nutshell, is you can do things in a video game you are not allowed to do in real life. This is not a fantasy game. I normally would call it a fantasy game, but this game is based so much on real life horrific events that can and do happen, that is why we here at the AV&T are so dead set on making sure that people know what they're getting in for. If you like the game, as we do for the most part, you have to know what you're in for. And there are games like Dead Space, which are horror games that are fantasy based and gruesome, but that's fantasy. You can really you can tell, okay, these things cannot logically happen, but don't try to do them. Grand Theft Auto is a much more sensitive issue because, frankly, you are doing things, that would get you thrown in jail or prison. Pretty much a lot of the stuff you'll see in the Grand Theft Auto games will get you arrested for life. And like Al said, there is a scene, and we will get to that in just a few minutes, that really shocked the hell out of me, even, and I've got a strong stomach, and I've got a pretty open mind about a lot. But this scene in this game, and actually there are actually a couple that I kind of had that opinion of, that by all rights you kind of wonder, okay, maybe they definitely went too far and should have left this type of thing out of the game. But then again, that's just opinions. And there are several reviews out there that just kind of say, oh well, you must buy this game, you must buy this game, you must buy this game, and we're not going to say you shouldn't. But there's a level of discretion we want you to follow when buying this, whether it's for your kid or for yourself. So with that in mind, your thoughts?
Well, it's like TJ was saying. I mean, we play the game. We're fans of the game. I've played every GTA. Come to think of it, from GTA 3, it has come out. I mean, but we're not by any means saying don't buy the game. We're pretty much just want you to be aware of this GTA game. I want to say on record. And on record, because this is the obviously this is GTA. On record is really the one that they stretched. They took reality and made it horrific, gruesome, that way. So it's just more of a. We kind of just want you to I don't know. I mean, pretty much just be aware. That's really all I have to say, I suppose, on that, other than the fact that it is pretty violent games. And that's not to say that this game, we're not pointing fingers at this game. There's other games, new games these days, depending on what they are, if they're M-rated games, newer games these days are coming out they have the tendency to be more horrifically graphic and more intense and gruesome. And that's just how the game development's going, I guess you could say, these days. But there are plenty of games everyone can play that is very light on the gruesome, obviously, and not basically like, oh, let's cut this guy's head off, or like, no, I'm just gonna that's so yeah.
Now, basically, for my personal opinion, I love the idea of getting to drive, like motorcycles and Bugattis and Jeeps and tanks and planes, and go into places buying,
It is absolutely insane.
Yeah, I mean,
Awesome.
such a a Skyrim kind of open world expansive, and I mean it's expansive. Is very awesome, very intriguing.
Very well done. Very well done. Graphics.
Yeah, completely. The music, being able to choose your radio stations, and they've got a lot of songs, and each different radio station, so you are just, the soundtrack to this game is freaking phenomenal. The voice acting is superb, and I definitely am a fan of the online mode. Again, we don't need to really go into it too much further, but if you want to kind of experience a G-rated Grand Theft Auto 5 session online, good freaking luck. It'll never happen. But if you bar all that entirely, the Grand Theft Auto 5 experience is, for those parts, extremely addicting, and kind of getting to rob a bank in the game, or kind of pull off a little bit of pull off some heists in the game itself. Technically you were supposed to, in the online capabilities, be able to do group heists. This has yet to happen. I believe Mr. Varn and myself will go into a rant on that in just a few minutes. But needless to say, the Grand Theft Auto 5 experience, barring the most graphic stuff, is not bad. But I will say I'd have enjoyed this game a whole lot more if those more brutal scenes probably had not been included. I mean, it's just a matter of, you know, in a game, especially when you know that there is the potential for kids to play, you know, I'm not saying sugarcoat, but there's a line even you might be fearing to cross as an adult. And I mean, we might as well just bring it up. The torture scene.
Yeah.
The torture scene is the main thing in that game that made me go, they went too far.
Let me put it to you this way, folks. The torture scene is basically where you're torturing. You're working with the FIB, which technically speaking is in real life the FBI, but it's FIB. Just, I don't know why they had to do that, but whatever.
Grand Theft Auto went trick or trout.
You're working with a few corrupt agents working with you because obviously you're criminals, and you know working with the corrupt agents is just the worst thing you can do ever. But aside from that, you're torturing this person who apparently has information. You're asked to torture them. And you're Trevor, by the way. Trevor, the most twisted fuck of all in the game. I'm just gonna say that.
A redneck among... I swear he was inbred.
Yes.
Had to have been.
Yes. But the thing with this is, the torture scene is graphic in this sense. You get to choose your weapon of torture and use it. And you can accidentally kill him using all this, and they would bring him back. And I don't know for how many times they do this. You know, by injecting something into him to start his heart again.
Adrenaline or something.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
I just strictly remember you taking, for example, a car battery and electrocuting him to, whipping out his teeth with, pliers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and bashing his legs with sledgehammer. See what I mean, guys? The graphicness just gets there, and it's just like...
That was the one scene I went, they took it too far.
Like, I think if they had included it, if they needed to, did we really need to take part in it? So I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to see even a portion of, you know, kind of like what they did on, you know, kind of like 24. I mean, at one point the series, you know, when they did their whole, like, maybe a couple seasons where it was just primarily they were torturing, I mean, you know, victims, interrogating them in order to get involved.
It's more than a cutscene, basically. It's just a cutscene that you're in control of.
Yeah, and it just, I mean,
you don't kill the guy though. You don't kill him. Luckily, Trevor lets him go and gets him out of there, like the very innocent soul that he apparently claims to have.
Yeah.
And I, truth be told, I don't even know if he ended up dying later on, but he just kind of dropped him off at the airport and, well, you broke the fucker's leg. So let's put it this way.
I was gonna say, there's just...
You broke his legs, so he goes and tries to run free and falls down the stairs at the terminal. I'm pretty sure he dies at some point. I don't know.
I'd swear that fall killed him. If he survived that, I call foul on that game, because if they're trying to base on reality, he should have been dead within seconds. But yeah, I mean, that one scene is definitely a huge reason why we say you really need to either try to play the game yourself or watch some videos of gameplay footage beforehand. That's a beautiful thing about YouTube and Twitch and things like that, is you can watch people playing the game and you can get an idea before you even purchase this thing of how extreme this game will get. use that as a tool because it will help your decision.
There's a thing, by the way, in the game, and I'm not sure if this is a glitch or if it's been patched or anything. But I recall it being in online mode at one point. I don't know if they patched it.
Okay.
But there's over in not Sandy Shores, but way up in the countryside. But where's that place going? What's the place called? Fuck. I can't remember.
Yeah, that's
the
what the
damn
place is called. Fuck.
It's at the top of the map. That's all I know. Up that way. There's a cabin in the mountains somewhere. I remember this dude running around butt ass naked, and a guy online on YouTube pointed this out. He of course censored it, obviously, because it obviously showed the guy's dick. I mean, literally, it was
at this point
the genitals was in plain view.
At this point, why not? I'm not saying I condone it by any stretch, but considering how far this game goes, case in point, in the actual storyline, it shows just how TMZ and sleazy paparazzo tend to get, oh, well, not TMZ per se, but basically the idea of paparazzo and sleaze paparazzo.
Mm-hmm.
And you I believe as Franklin go a couple of times to this guy who recruits you to help him with his paparazzi, and you're at a motel, and you're outside and you take a look around the bush, no pun intended.
That was weird.
And you see in full au naturel a woman getting porked in the ass by a dude who's bent her over a picnic table, and you videotape this happening. And then she justifiably, although she's an idiot if she's doing this out in a public area, derp, chases you in a vehicle and basically tries to kill you, and I find myself not blaming her even though I'm running for my life. Again, these are scenes that are like, if you're talking too hot for TV, you're damn right. And it just gets worse from there.
Funny thing.
I can't believe this dude.
And the funny thing is, I don't think I've actually played all those side missions yet.
Oh.
So I think this is the first time hearing from that one.
I stumbled across it completely by accident, and I'm still to this day wishing I hadn't.
I'd be dying. I would be dying. Instantly, if I saw that while I'm recording it, I'd just be dying.
Like, if you're bent over a picnic table in LaBeouf, in broad daylight, number one, brain trust, you deserve to get caught. And number two, if somebody's going to make some money off of you, that's a way to do it. But again, that just proves how extreme this game is.
This is true.
And I'm gonna be fully honest with you. I haven't played the entirety of the game. Yeah, I mean the main story, yes, but there are side missions among side missions among side missions, and that's not even including the online mode side missions and goals and cash flow in and of that self. So, in that sense, I think it's kind of like a combination between Skyrim and Arkham City.
True.
Just a whole bunch of side missions that, if you really want to, you could just deviate from the main story altogether for a while.
That's true.
And just go kind of like all around Los Santos, and just kind of go here and go here. You end up playing as Michael, Trevor,
and
Franklin.
Yes.
And I gotta say, it's nice to see a diversity for characters, especially considering Franklin is African American. You got Michael, who is basically the stereotypical like Al Pacino, like Robert De Niro mafia. With a mix. I'd say he's got a mixture of Joe Pesci in there.
Yeah.
And then you have Trevor, who is Larry the Cable Guy amped up on 90,000 grams of coke.
He's basically, as what's been actually said, even in game, the hipster, the redneck hipster.
You're redneck hipster, yeah. That I actually I can't put that one better. That I think that definitely sums Trevor up in a nutshell. But and we really should talk about language here. In the game itself, I'm not even barring online mode. The game itself is just freaking filthy.
Yes, it is.
I mean, I'm surprised that, with this video game, the rating system doesn't go like beyond M, because frankly, the language you will hear, we're not going to repeat that language here, ladies and gentlemen, because frankly, there may be kids watching this, and we've already let loose a few F-bombs, but considering I can't even speak about it. Like, that's how brutal. That language can get beyond triple X rated, ladies and gentlemen. So, if you are not easily offended, then definitely you should be able to tolerate this game. If you are like instantly easily offended, we'll say right now, don't pick up this game.
Indeed.
And you hear that kind of language, like, I swear, not even every other minute. Like, every, half a minute you will hear something so foul you can't believe it's even said.
You even hear and see some fucked up things come out of Michael's kid's mouth. Their mouths.
Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
I swear that it is Jonah Hill, isn't it? His
kid?
son?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Freaking Jonah Hill with a foul... frankly, Jonah Hill, his voice and himself matches his character. Granted, I'm assuming Jonah's lost some weight, which, not meaning to offend. But
I'm pretty sure a majority of the characters are actually, they look similar
to their actors?
To the actors themselves, with just some changes. Because I actually saw a video of all the actors that played those people, and Michael and Trevor and every one of them are completely identical almost to their people, with just the changes, because the person who plays Michael's obviously bald.
And I'm just gonna say for the record, I'm a Jonah Hill fan. Since the initial early release of Grand Theft Auto 5, I've actually seen Jonah. He's lost Jonah's work, especially in 22 Jump Street and other. He's lost some weight since then, so kudos to him. But to describe his character in Grand Theft Auto, he is a fat white boy who's trying to be blacker than black, and he is more pale than Casper. Okay.
This is true.
I swear, if I heard him say homie or G or, shiz, nizzle or whatever one more time, and I think I've lost a couple of brain cells myself, considering,
I personally like the, like the conversations Michael has with his kid, so to speak. For example, one of the scenes, this was just funny to me. They're driving, he goes, "Okay, we're bouncing." Michael goes, "We're bouncing. Is that what we're doing?" So the perfect thing an old man would say, practically, really? Seriously?
Shall we talk
Is this how we're talking these days?
Shall we talk about how Michael is the most overprotective mafia father I've ever heard of in my life?
To an extent, yeah. Well, actually,
Dude,
more than an extent.
I was gonna say,
Yes.
the dude
Overprotective,
goes
yes.
and takes a ski boat, a jet ski, goes out to this yacht and tracks down his daughter, who's currently in, granted, in this game, she's
Easy.
a looker. And yes, easy is
Let's
definitely
put it
another
this way,
term.
she's probably easy, it's all I know.
Extremely.
That's what the character's made to be, I guess.
And she's on this boat, this yacht, and the reason she's there is she's getting a gig, apparently, with porn and movie makers. And they deal very heavily in drugs and dealing and trafficking and he doesn't
guns.
take this too well, considering, granted, he is the kingpin of mafia, I swear to God. and he legit swims out there, and he swims out there, and then in rescuing her, according to him, not to her, again, this man gets chased with his daughter on a jet ski around by these guys who are ticked off because he ruined their party. That is how overprotective he is. Granted, he wasn't wrong, but, considering everything that man has probably ever done in his history, which, you don't get much of a backstory of the Michael character. He was probably in that particular moment like one of the world's biggest hypocrites.
Yeah, it's pretty much. But even more so, I mean, did we even go into originally how the story began with them entirely? I don't think we did.
Not per se. I think we'll save that one, like maybe for like a part 2. We're already reaching the 30-minute mark, so we should probably try.
Pretty much.
So we'll just do our final thoughts, I think, and then we'll probably come back to this because there's so much to this to this game.
Sure.
Definitely a worthwhile pickup, but you really have to have the taste for it.
Indeed.
Again, like I said, do not pick this up for little children. Please let them be teenagers before they even think about the Grand Theft Auto series. But if you're of the age and you are not of the easily offended, this game is definitely for you. And I did enjoy quite a bit of it. And I'd say probably part 2 we'll definitely go into our rant about I think you already covered one in one of your YouTube vlogs about the online heist modes and whatnot. We'll touch on that probably in where are they now type of thing when the release comes out for the Xbox One and whatnot. But that's my opinion, Mr. Vaughn.
Well, really, that'd be my opinion. Actually, I think I already said my opinion.
Yeah, I think you did
early on. Yeah. Well, and anyway, guys, since we reached our mark here, we will discuss all the rest of the game in part 2, and so this has been part 1 of GTA 5 covering, and with TJ Green. You guys have a good one.
We'll catch you later for part 2. Coming soon. So take care. Catch you on the flip side.
Across the goddamn map. 3 quarters of the way across this map. On a jetpack, no less. He throws the grenade. I'm pretty much as far away as he can get, and it still gets me, and it still kills me. I'm like, WTFF. What the flying is that?
Well, let me just give you the tour. There's this burger, medium fried.
Stop yelling!
Okay, sorry about that, guys. Anyway, let's start this challenge and get this bitch out of the way. Okay. Oh, it's gonna be bad. Everyone, I'm gonna start,